right. Looks like we're live now. Sorry for the delay, guys. This is the first time that I've been using this this platform, so it's a little bit of a learning curve and had to figure out where to go. Let's see. My viewers, comments, StreamYard. Let me see if I can see this on the desktop so that I can kind of. It's tough to see on the phone. So just move this around a little bit. There we go. Stone's here. Jay, hi Jay. All right, now we're getting somewhere. Sign in. All right. So Stone's done this before. So he is in real time giving me live training on how to do this. All right. Move this a little bit. Okay. All right. YouTube audio should be far superior. We'll see. I hope so. You know what? I'm actually going to log in as myself and then tune in to the Onefinity live stream that I'm doing right now, because I don't know if it will let you watch your own live stream, strangely. All right. Sorry, guys. This is, I meant to just kind of hit the ground running, but I'm learning. I'm learning all kinds of new stuff. Onefinity CNC, and looks like they're live right now. And there we are. All right, so now I can see myself and the comments. And sorry, took me forever to figure out this new streaming platform. So there's a weird thing that you have to do with Instagram. Some like key that, like, when I log in to Instagram as Onefinity, I don't know where that key is. So we'll figure that out before the next one. But how's everybody doing on this glorious Monday evening? Sounds pretty good to me. Use a separate laptop or tablet if you have one. Yeah, I'm using my computer. So thanks, man. Let's see how many people we got in here. 23 watching. Okay. All right. So we got more people coming in. And show chat. All right. So the whole point of me doing this live, it's not it's super casual. It's not super it's not real formal. I just I wanted to follow up with the last video that I did, because normally I'm showing people how to do something, how to accomplish something, make something on their CNC, and hope that they, you know, are successful with it. And in this last one, I completely screwed the project up. And so that kind of, I put a lot of time into it. But I felt like it was important to mention is the fact that you know, when you try something new, kind of go out on a limb, you run the risk of screwing something up. And it's okay. Own it and reach out to the community, talk to other people, and learn from your mistake, and have other people help you and guide you, and so that you don't make the same mistake again. So I did a project that I thought was just going to be awesome, and I'm still pretty proud of it. But but there was definitely some things that I overlooked. So I kind of wanted to get on here and ask everybody else, what is their like white whale of a project? What is the project that they've been wanting to do, but are like, think that it's beyond their means, beyond their comprehension, and don't know what is, don't know where to start. Because if I can help you with that, I would love to, but I'm hoping that the other people that are in here can help you with that too. So failure is a good teacher. Absolutely. You don't learn a whole lot if you just win every time, So thank you, Terry. That's very important. Let's see, we got 26 watching now. Who else in here? Everybody, if you're in here, just give me a thumbs up, give me a praise hands, give me a high five or whatever you got. Timber Falls. Hi, Morgan. Hi, Timber Falls. Okay, I guess that's it. Nobody else wants to say hi. All right, Jeffrey Henderson. There we go. Gary from Missouri. Rodney. All right. Yvonne from Montreal, Canada. That's where we're from. Well, that's where the machine's from. I live in Florida, but the machine came from Canada. Gary, what's up, Gary? He's been a veteran in San Diego. Meeting you and Stone and Ben. Moved to Washington and Tennessee now. Well, hey, thanks for joining us. It's good to see you. Ken, let's see, Chris, Ian, Terry. For me, I would love to learn how to design 3D models for sculpture. That's a question that we get a lot. Is like, how do you design your stuff? Like even just the 2D models. How do you design the 2D models that you toolpath and cut on your machine? There's tons of different softwares. My favorite software is Shaper 3D. I use it on my iPad, and it's a 3D modeling software that you can use with your Apple Pencil on your iPad, and you can export it as a 2D vector, either as a SVG or DXF. You can do PDF, but not a lot of toolpathing software will care about that. So it does 2D and 3D. So there is a subscription for that, but there's tons of different softwares that you can get that are free that will do stuff. Now that you mention that, like I'm kind of curious to explore more into like what AI can do for you. Like if you put a prompt into something, can AI give you a usable vector that you can then bring into toolpathing software and cut on your CNC? I haven't really thought about that until just now. Maybe just a brief passing thought, but that is something that I would like to look more into. Let's see, we got Nick watching from Ohio, Bill, Chris, Mike, another Chris, Rodney, Rose, Timber Falls, yes, Chris, Terry. Well, yeah, those all the same guys. Shaper's neat, but I like Blender and Nomad. Blender I've used a little bit, trying to mess around with like trying to edit STLs, and it's a lot. Like there's a lot to know about that. I don't know. I've got to get more into it, but it's apparently a very good software. I just don't know enough about it. And Sculpt and Nomad for Sculpt. I've never used Nomad. I'll have to check that out. A lot of trial and errors with AI. Yes. So, yeah, a lot of trial and error with AI. Let's see. We got Brian. Got Mike from Utah. Stone's here. Stone's just kind of like hiding in the corner. He's being a fly on the wall. on this thing here. Copilot. Oh, Copilot. Yeah. So I just got a like, I keep getting advertised Copilot, so I downloaded it, but I haven't really done much of anything with it. I opened it and briefly, and just like didn't have time to really explore it. But anyway, so I guess what I wanted to do here is I wanted to ask anybody in attendance, what's the white whale project that you have been thinking about? If you are a CNC user, you've been thinking about doing for a long time, but you're just afraid to do it because it seems insurmountable. It seems out of your grasp. I want to know what those are, because we've got a great community here that can either help you figure it out, or at least, I don't know, encourage you to just try it anyway. You know? Yeah, stones lurking in the shadows. 3D inlays. So what do you mean by 3D inlays? So a 3D, like a flat surface, and then you inlay a 3D object into that, or the whole thing is 3D? I'm learning. Electric and acoustic guitar would be cool. Yes. So Terry, I started an electric guitar. It was actually like the second or third thing that I ever made on a CNC, which was kind of swinging for the fences with that one because I had no idea what I was doing. But the guitar, it came out pretty cool. Messed it up in some places, but it would have been usable had I actually looked into how the neck would connect to the body. And I just took like a standard cavity that I think it was like a Fender standard cavity, and just applied that. But then I bought a different neck online, and it nowhere near fit. So that I just kind of abandoned for a while. But yeah, guitar, that's definitely one of those things, because then there's all kinds of other stuff that you got to consider too, like the pickups and the potentiometers and all the electronics that you got to fit in there. You got to not only just design the shape of the instrument, but you got to figure out how all that stuff fits into it. So I do want to do a video on a guitar later on, after the sting from the failure from this wears off. But yeah, no, that's a good one. I definitely want to look into that one more. All right, so Terry's responding, or no, Timberfalls. All right, through inlays, and then carve the 3D so it comes out in place, like a 3D waving flag inlay. Burn lots of wood, getting it close. Yeah, man, I can't tell you how much material I've wasted just trying to get something close. And I think that was kind of the point of this last video, was that, like, I had this idea, and I really thought that I had thought through everything, and I just didn't. I missed one thing, and it kind of ruined everything else. But I'm still alive. My family still loves me. My machine's not broken, and everything's okay. I can do it again. And now I know what I messed up, and I can just do it again. That's the whole, that was kind of the whole point of this last video, is like, just try, if it comes out the way that you imagined it, amazing. If it doesn't, just do it again. Whatever. Topography routing. So Greg, we have I have a video that I did last year about doing 3D topographies. So I did that one only because, and I know that there's a ton of videos out there about that. But the reason that I did it was because I found this really, really cool resource where like you don't have to do any sort of like downloadings of databases and conversions after conversions after conversions. Is literally one website that you put in a location, you set up a square, and then you just hit, you know, like what you want your kind of, there's like 2 or 3 settings that you got to mess with. But then it'll give you an STL that you can easily just drag into your toolpathing software and do it. Let me see, what was it called? It was called, Greg, look for, well, you can go check out our video. You'd have to look for it, but if you just want to look for it quickly, it's called Touch Terrain. Touch Terrain. That'll get you a CNCable topography STL that's just, it's awesome. And it takes just a couple minutes. No bunch of conversions or anything. The guitar neck building is the hardest thing. Yeah, see, I've never, I didn't even attempt a neck because it's just, there's so much involved. So you've got to cut the truss rod, right, all the way through. Then you've got to put this threaded thing in there, and then you've got to do frets across, you know, like, and then there's just the fretboard just has this slight curve. It just, I don't know. I wanted to do a body and make, you know, route everything out to accommodate for the electronics, and then just buy a neck and put it in there. But I'll get to that later. It will. I'll do it eventually. It's just one of those things that's kind of like, I failed at it once and then just backburnered it. But that's kind of what that's what I'm getting at in this last video is like, yeah, if you mess something up, you're still here, you're still alive, you still have a machine that works, nothing broke, just do it again. Like, figure out what you messed up and just do it again. If you set up your wasteboard with indexing markers, the neck is actually pretty straightforward. Oh, Stone's always got an answer. Inlays, the bits are so small and thin, afraid I'll break the bits. So, so Ian, what I would suggest is whatever bit you plan to use for the inlays for frets on a guitar neck, just refer to the manufacturer. On every bit manufacturer's website, they're going to put, you know, the recommended feeds and speeds in there. And if you, well, what kind of machine do you have, Ian? Because there was another thing that I was thinking. If you set your feed rate, if you have like a feed rate in mind that you think would be right in your toolpath, in your toolpathing software, in your G code, make it twice as fast. If you have well, this is only if you have an elite machine. But if you have an elite machine, make it twice as fast, because there's an override option to where if it seems like it's, you know, moving too fast and might break the bit, you can always dial it back in the controller in real time, so that you can kind of feel it out as it's going. Foreman. There's 2 kinds of Foremans. Either elite or pro. But either way, so, you know, that's I guess that's better advice for the elite users. But whatever machine you have, always refer to the manufacturer's website. Every manufacturer, for every bit, they're going to have recommended feeds and speeds. So that's always, oh, there you go. See? So you've got an elite Foreman. So set your feed rate to 200% of what you think it probably ought to be. And then as it starts going, just kind of like keep the overrides at, you know, right at your fingertips. And then if it looks like it's stressing it out, just dial it back a little bit until it looks like it's, you know, moving at a comfortable speed. Because you can always go slower. You can't really go faster. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. Maybe one day. So if you do deep epoxy inlays like 1/2 inch thick and 2 inches deep, then take a 3D model from the same vectors and carve that. Colors would be in 3D rather than 2D. Hang on, it takes me a second to process that. End of the day, my brain is just... So if you do deep epoxy inlays like 1/2 inch thick and 2 inch diameter, then take 3D model from same vectors and carve that. Colors would be... Okay, I think I get it. Yeah, all right, I think I get it. So I'll have to give that a little bit more thought. Let me see. Mike, just getting started with CNC. One Affinity with Carveco. Next project is the Mallet program. Oh, the Mallet. Oh man. So so Mike, I'm gonna post an update to the Mallet toolpath or the Mallet cutting file. Hang on. Let me grab it for you. So this one did not come out great, but I did incorporate a fun little feature. Check this out. So I put a impact activated LED light in there. So where I just put the epoxy in the original version that I made, I cleared out a little bit more space and then just took like a toy that my kid had. It was like $1 from the, those balls that you like bounce on the ground and they light up when you bounce them. I just cut that out of one of my kids' toys and stuck that in there, and it's impact activated. So I'm gonna make that again and put an updated file in there. So I mean, literally any dollar store that you go to, you will find one. So if you wanted to wait and do that, it's pretty cool. It's fun. And people ask me all the time, like, well, what do you do when the battery runs out? I'm like, well, when the battery runs out, it's just a mallet. It's just a functional mallet. It just doesn't light up. So it's like that, who was it? Mitch Hedberg joke. Like when escalator is out of order, is like temporarily out of order. What is it? Out of order, temporarily stairs. Pardon the, sorry for the convenience. That's what it is. Poor kid doesn't have a toy. Oh, this kid's got tons of toys. Not worried about that. Really cool things in 2D. So like regular epoxy inlay project. All right, so Timber Falls. So I'm gonna have to go back and see where it comes out in place. So Timber Falls. And sorry to address you as Timber Falls because I don't know your first name, but I'm just gonna address you by your handle. But so when you say like an inlay and then it comes out in place, do you mean like pouring epoxy into an inlay and then carving around it so that what you poured into the inlay sticks out? Is that what you mean? Jason. Nice to meet you, Jason. Ooh, better plug in my phone. One second, guys. Deep inlay layered project. Sorry, guys. I had to scoop my phone out from on my holder to plug it in and accidentally hit the off button. But things happen and you learn so much fixing mistakes. That is absolutely right. So I learned more fixing the mistakes that I made on really all the projects I've ever made. I've been doing this for a long time. Before I was working for Onefinity, I had a furniture business of my own for a long time, and for about 7 years. And most of the time that I spent was spent making fixing mistakes that I had made, because I didn't know what I was doing, and I still don't really. I mean, I say that I'm okay, but I say that like, do any of us really know what we're doing? Not really. All right, so deep inlay layered project, then carve a 3D model out of that epoxy block. Okay, gotcha. All right. So that, ooh. So then you would, I guess, you would have to basically like, you would have to cut like a big cavity, I guess, and then like just fill that with epoxy, and then do run a 3D, like a 3D toolpath just in that epoxied area to get, and then you'd have to be able to get that. Are you talking about just like a to be able to just pull the epoxy model out of wherever it was carved? Yeah, I know everything. Well, man, I envy you. I really do. Do an inlay picture, then do a 3D model of the same picture. Okay. Do reverse and okay. See, that's why we do this, because other people will come in here and know what they're talking about. Like Ron seems to know exactly what you mean, and he has a process for you. That's why I love this community. It's awesome. It's crazy complicated to do a guitar neck. Yeah, no kidding. Morgan know every. Oh, I thought you said Morgan. I know everything. Morgan know everything. No, Morgan know barely anything. Morgan know nothing. Morgan no good brain. But I appreciate you. Make a drum. A drum? Yeah, I would love to make a drum. So that's one of those things where you do like a bunch of strips, and then you'd have to figure out, the angle of each bevel to be able to make a full circle without any gaps. Yeah, I'd love to make a drum. I like music. I like making instruments. That's why I would be interested in doing all this stuff. I just don't have the time really to do all this experimentation for really nothing, because I'll never play them. Had my journeyman a little over a year now. Have not attempted 3D yet. Let's see. Oh, went away. I also switched software about 6 months ago, and then let the machine sit for a few months. Why? Yeah, 3D is I want to make a cajon. Yeah. A cajon is percussion. So I had an idea for a cajon. Stone wanted to make a cajon. If anybody doesn't know what that is, it's basically a box. It's a box you sit on and you beat with your hands. I had an idea for a cajon where there would be a little cavity where I could fill it with like BBs, so that it would sound more like a snare drum than just like whacking a box. Have yet to prototype that, but had an idea. It sounded fun to me. Let me see. Morgan, talk about using the microjig router bits in the CNC. Oh, I can do that. So, all right, I'm gonna go in. I'm gonna take this off of the stand here. I know the last time I did something live, people were like, people were not thrilled that I was like walking around with the phone, because I guess I'm shaky. Sorry, I will try to keep it steady. So, all right. Let's see if I can flip my camera around this. I don't even know if there's a way to do that. You know what? Wait, there we go. Cam. No. Oh well, I'll figure it out later. Anyway, I'm just gonna trust that you guys are seeing what I'm doing. So this is where I normally have my Pro Foreman. This is under the outfeed of my main workstation, which is where for the next project that I have, I moved my machine up to here. So there's no wasteboard currently right there because I just moved it up. But so all of these grooves here I cut with the micro jig dovetail bit, and I use the dovetail hardware that they make. I've just got like a couple of different types of jigs. There's really not a whole lot that you need to be able to use it. It's just like there's just like 2 or 3 types of jigs that that you can use to hold your projects in place, and they work really, really well. The nice thing about it is that your machine cuts all of those grooves so that, you know, like when you're tool pathing it, it's just a grid of lines along X and Y axes. So you know that all of those grooves are perfectly in line with your X and Y axes. So if you set up stops or anything like that, you know that it's dead on square with your machine. So that's a really nice thing about that. What you saw on there, the black thing, that is that's an Airweights vacuum table, which I used a lot on this last project, and it was really, really cool to have. Just because there was no, I usually use like hot glue or super glue and blue tape, all kinds of stuff, but the Airweights was really, really nice to have because I didn't have to do that. I just turned off the vacuum and could just pull it up without having to peel anything off or, you know, glue anything down in the first place. It's very nice. Let's see. Is the epoxy block for your 3D model? Okay. Where'd you get the brain for the AI? I just downloaded a 3D model of a brain and spray painted it pink, and then just put it in a jar and drilled some holes in the lid of that jar and put some wires in there. Now that you've actually made me think about the process, it was a lot more involved than I thought it was going to be. But yeah, it's just a 3D printed little brain. That was a fun April Fool's Day. I don't know if anybody saw the last April Fool's Day. I thought that one was better, but this year was okay. It was all right. Let's see. Anything? I own original 32 woodworker, 3.5 years now, running good. That's what we like to hear. Where'd you get the brain? All right, use the epoxy block for your 3D model. Cool idea. Well, thank you. And YB, I don't know your first name, so I just address you as YB. But Timber Falls, I now know as Jason. So it's fun to meet you guys. It really is. So anybody who's here, that's why I invited you all here. I invited you here because I love you. But I wanted to hear what you guys like White Whale project is. Like what's the project that you've been wanting to do but you've been afraid to start? So I heard guitar. That's something that I've got a body all designed and toolpathed and everything ready to go. I can do that. That's a pretty easy project. It's the neck that's the problem. I would just buy a neck, but I guess that's kind of the point here is don't just buy something. Challenge yourself to actually do it. So let me see. We still got 28 folks watching. So you're telling me out of 28 folks, nobody has a project that they are scared to start.
I found this on the web for Can You Tell Me How to 28 Folks Nobody Has a Project. Check it out. By the way, if you have another request, you don't need to say Siri before you ask it.
I hate Siri. Shut up. I'm so mad at Siri. Just constantly interjecting. All right, Adirondack chair. See, that's a good one. I have one designed out that I think could be made on the CNC, like joinery and everything. So like all the parts cut out on the CNC, put it together without any secondary work. I have what I think can do that. I'll have to give it a shot with just some like plywood or something. See if it works, and then if it does, I'll make a full video on it. But yeah, that's a good project. That's one of those projects that a lot of woodworkers they make just like as a side hustle. They sell them to like local businesses, local restaurants and bars and stuff. There's a guy that lives about a half mile from me that has a woodworking business just on the side. He's a firefighter normally, but he sells a bunch of Adirondack chairs. I mean, like a lot of Adirondack chairs. I see them all over town. So that would be a good project for sure. Had woodworker since pre-orders rolled in. Now on a journeyman. Want to make full cabinetry for under the machine and throughout the shop. Has anyone used Vectric? Nah, nobody uses Mosaic. Well, maybe somebody does. A lot of people use Vectric. I recommend Carveco. Carveco has every bit of the same functionality as Vectric, and is not to say that there's I use Vectric all the time. I like it, but Carveco has all the same functionality and is much more affordable. So I would look into that for sure. What do you think about a cigar humidor? Not a big cigar guy myself, but yeah, cigar humidor. So it's really more like it's a box and it's got like some sort of thing in there that retains the moisture, right? Or recirculates the moisture. I don't know if it's powered or if it's just like something you fill and it's like a pad of like moistness. But yeah, like a humidor seems like a good project, but I think I don't think that they're powered. I think they're just like a little thing that you just fill with water every now and again. Smoked whiskey kits. So like a whiskey smoker. Our buddy Hamilton has a great design for a whiskey smoker. He's sold a ton of them, both digitally and at like markets and stuff. So check out Hamilton Dilbeck. He's got a great whiskey smoker design. I think he sells it on Etsy for like $2 or something like that. And it's a very, very simple tool path. So you just plug it in your machine and knock it out. And that's one of those things that I'd thought about doing, and was actually gonna do shortly before I met Hamilton. But then I met Hamilton, and he's a good buddy, and he told me that that's like a big part of his like livelihood is those whiskey smokers. So I was like, all right, well, I'm not gonna step on that. Just like leave that to him. Let other people try to steal it, but not me. Let me see. Timber Falls Jason is a Carveco master. Check out. There you go. See, I'm glad we brought each other together here. I'm down the street from Jack Daniel's Distillery, so I do have that. Oh man, that's trouble. Let's see. Sorry, I'm just trying to go back through and see if there's any questions or comments that I missed. All right, so I need you guys to know that like I am writing these down. The projects that you want to do that you don't feel like there's adequate direction on yet that's available to you, I want to try those. I want to tackle those. I want to give you what you need to know to be able to do them. So I'm writing these down. All right. That was kind of the whole point of this. So actually, I guess now's a good time to ask, like, who here actually saw the last video that we posted of the synthesizer that I made that I totally botched? Nobody. Well, that's great. I'm glad to hear that. Nobody go look at it. It's not worth looking at. Just forget I said anything. Okay, there we go. Stone's here. So how was combining metal and wood for the synthesizer? Did it complicate things using different materials? Yes, it did. Not only because it wouldn't have complicated things if it was just the metal and the wood. The problem was the metal had a specific function in the wood piece, and that it was meant to be the interface between the player and the electronics built into the instrument. So if it was just metal and wood inlaid, no big deal. But the metal was connected to electronics, and the electronics were connected to a board that sent information to a tablet, that sent information to a music software to interpret that. But I also made the mistake of incorporating lights, touch sensitive lights, into that same, introducing this a new current into the same circuit, which does not work. And I should have thought about that. That seems like logical, but I didn't know that. So like the controller that receives messages from the metal was fighting with the current that was produced by the light sensors that were also built into it. I should have done it separately or just not at all. Because actually, to this day, I'm still not sure how I would incorporate both into the same metal touchpad. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. Is like I thought so deep into this, and I thought that I had just covered everything mentally. But I missed that one thing, and it ended up being, kind of destroying the project. But I did find that if I just don't plug in the light sensors, the touchpads work just fine. So I can still play it as an instrument just fine. It's just that the keys don't light up. That's, and then I can, if I plug the MIDI controller in before the lights, I can still get it to light up, but they don't light up when I touch the keys. They just kind of randomly turn on and off. And so that's isn't what I was going for, really. But it's still fun. It's still cool. And like, I don't know, that was kind of what I was hoping to inspire, is like, yeah, even if you make something and it doesn't turn out the way that you thought it was gonna, if you have fun with it, even if it doesn't work, even if it doesn't do anything, but you had fun making it, and you feel like you have learned in the process, and you're the better for it, then that was a good endeavor. It was worth doing. So he says, you have electrical feedback is bad. You have a membrane between them for a separate circuit. Yeah. See, that's beyond my comprehension. But see, well, can't wait to see your V2. And that's the thing is it didn't go right, but I'm gonna do it again, because now I know you can't just put two sensors together that both produce their own currents and expect them to behave normally. Now I know that. And so I'm gonna do it again. And then so that, I guess, that makes the project that I messed up worth doing, because now I know. But I want to hear what. Let me see. How was combining middle? Okay, I'm all caught up. I want to hear what you guys are scared to start. Tell me your greatest fears. I'll wait. I'm just gonna wait until somebody speaks up, or maybe I won't, because now it's getting awkward. All right. So I guess what I'm gonna do then, now that my phone's all charged, I'm just gonna head over here. Still would love to figure out how to flip the camera around. That would be amazing. Can you do it this way? Nope. Oh well, I'll figure that out at some point. Anyway, so this is, I can't even tell if you guys can see it. Got chill there. I don't need that. Inlay here, don't need that. So this is it. So the microcontroller that's on it resets every now and again. There we go. So the touchpads work. It's just that they don't work with the lights. And that's, what, I'm just gonna show you guys the wiring the wiring that I had to do to get this thing set up. Let's see. All right. So this is it. So it's gnarly. So the sampler goes to this Arduino here. This one, all the copper touchpads are in here. I just plug these with just a dowel. And then this is the light sensor. So I just had this plugged into a power bank. I could have it plugged into a USB hub and have it go to the same thing as here, but that got things really, really wacky. So anyway, all the copper touchpads are under this. Wire comes through, connects to that, and then connects to this. So that is, I don't know if that anybody cares, because it doesn't actually work right, but I thought it was pretty clever until it wasn't. Am I back? I'm back. Holy cow. Sorry, you guys. I accidentally hit a button, and this being the first time that I've opened this app, I did not know how to get back to where I was. So thank you for your patience. I see a lot of people dropped off. That's okay. I understand. I can't say you botched it. Well, botched it. Yeah, I would say good enough for government work. Or what's the other expression? Well, I'm not going to see it from my house. Those things that home remodelers or contractors say. Good enough for government work. Carving metal brand. Oh, so Jason, is that what you have been reluctant to try? Because we got a thing on that. I've tried a few times to cut brass out, but have broken bits every time. Yes. Okay. So, cutting brass. That is. So I did a brass branding iron. I used all the bits that I used were from Bits and Bits, and all of the tool paths that I did, all my my feeds and speeds. I kept the spindle speed the same, but all of my feed rates I did half of what they recommended on their website because I did the same thing. I broke a bunch of bits, but the feed rate or the spindle speed seemed right, and so I just dialed back the feed rate to half. I think I did it at like 10 inches per minute, which seems slow, but you know, it's not wood, it's not plastic, it's a totally different kind of material, it's a different animal. And with 10 inches per minute, it came out really good. Let's see, it's going to be reversed on there, but yeah, it came out really good. And this was at 10 inches per minute. I used an eighth inch O flute bit, then a 16th inch O flute bit, and then a 60-degree V bit, and all just moving very slowly. But it came out really nice. So I'd hate for you to break more bits on my account, but going along with what we've been talking about, you broke some bits. Did anybody get hurt? Is your machine broken? No. You can do it again. That's kind of the point here. Let's see. Can we see your V2? Greg Bennett. Well, I think that we've got, let me see, it's 8 o'clock. I think I'm going to give it 15 more minutes. 15 more minutes. So what else you got? Who else has a project that they have been scared to death to start and need some encouragement or a little bit of direction, either from me or the other attendees here? None. Okay. Well, good talk, guys. I appreciate everybody showing up. I know it's Monday night. I figured nobody else would have anything going on Monday night. Lord knows I didn't. But I appreciate everybody being here and tuning in. I can't wait for y'all to really open up, to really tell me about your biggest fears. What are you afraid to start? Let me help you. or let the rest of the community help you. I want to see you guys get wacky. I want to see y'all do some gnarly stuff nobody has any business doing. Do you do this every Monday night? No. I might. If y'all would maybe participate a little bit more. No, I'm just kidding. No, y'all have been great. I appreciate everybody that came tonight. So what I'm trying to do is every time that I put out one of my kind of longer form videos, to give everybody kind of a week to like digest it, and then do like a live follow up a week later to just kind of answer any questions or follow up with anything everybody was confused about. And I haven't been super consistent about, I would like to get a video a week out, and I'm trying to get closer to that mark. It just, some of them I put a lot of time into. Some of them often needlessly, but trying to get closer to like once a week. So whenever a longer form video comes out on YouTube, you can count on roughly a week later coming on here and doing a live to kind of follow up with people and answer questions. I'd love to see something on a regular basis. I'd be here, buddy. I would too. So I have a just like a weird tendency to like bite off more than I can chew and think that it's going to take a certain amount of time, but it ended up being way more involved than I thought it was going to. And just like, instead of, just kind of being like getting into it and halfway through being like, okay, I can simplify this and just get it done. Just like fully committing and taking a long time to get it done. Just to get all the information that I want in there. And I don't, I know that people appreciate stuff regularly. So I'm trying to reconcile that. I'm trying to adjust to that, that kind of schedule. Cause I like, my whole thing is I've always just take as long as you need to do it right. But consistency and regularity are things that are absolutely valued. So I'm working toward that. And thank you, Greg. Once I get something going more regularly, I look forward to having you here. All right. Well, it doesn't look like we have a whole lot of questions anymore. What was that? Was that an ad in the middle? That was an ad in the middle of the chat section. Not sure if I like that at all. But okay, there we go. All right. Well, I appreciate y'all being here. Next video, and I think that I briefly mentioned it earlier, but the next video is going to be about tiling. We've gotten a lot of questions about tiling. People have been asking about it, asking for a video about it. So, like I said earlier, my machine used to be down here, and you can't really do tiling in an enclosure, which is why I brought it up here. And so I can move the material this way and that way. I've got the machine all connected and hooked up. I just got to secure it down to the bench and get an indexing system set up so that I can actually do that. But it's going to be a fun project. It's going to be a weird project, silly project. But I've always kind of wanted to do a life-size operation game. But rather than putting like electronics and buzzers and stuff in there, I'm going to make it into a cornhole game. So instead of like, the buzzers and stuff, we're tossing bean bags into the open cavities where like the organs and bones would be on an operation game. And the operation character is going to be me. It's gonna be fun. But that will demonstrate, you know, cutting a project that's a full 4x8 sheet. They'll demonstrate cutting a project that is that exceeds the capacity of your machine, and you know, you're still able to make it cut everything that you need to. So I'm gonna finish that this week, and then I'll be back on here doing something live the following week, talking about it. Maybe, probably playing the game actually. So, all right. Well, unless anyone has anything else to say, forever hold your peace. Thanks for being here. I will see y'all shortly. I'll see you in a little bit. All right. Y'all have a good night.